4, 3, 2, 1.
Yo, happy Monday, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday. It's your boy, Mike D, aka DDEA, aka 13th Wonder of the World. So nice to talk to you guys on this big Monday, the beginning of the week. You know what that means. It's time for Monday Night Raw on Netflix, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna find out the fallout of Saturday night's main event. Also getting us prepared for the Royal Rumble. I do know that Sami Zayn will challenge Drew McIntyre tonight. It's one of the matches as well. We're also going to see what happens in the women's division as well tonight as the story goes forward towards the Royal Rumble, which is this Saturday. Shout out to the Point Place family. Shout out to Bobby Reezy, M. Breezy, Naya, my sister. I love all y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to the Point of View on Podbeam/YouTube. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to know that I am going to start trying to get back on this thing more. Even if I got to just come on for at least 15 to 20 minutes a day, I'm going to try to do this again like I used to do it on a daily basis. No more slacking. Me trying to feed you guys the news as much as I can. And that's my determination right now, to get better at this thing day by day. All I need is just prayer and support, just like anybody else does. That's just a sidebar. Thank you all. Let me get into tonight. NBA is going to be loaded. Clippers and Suns have a game. Lakers and Hornets also. Celtics Rockets is going to be very interesting. Bucks Jazz. Timberwolves. Who does the Timberwolves play tonight? Timberwolves Hawks. I don't think Trae Young's playing tonight. I think we have New York and Memphis. That's going to be interesting. Ja Morant going up against Jalen Brunson. That's going to be fun. Towns and Jared Jackson and, Josh Hart, Edie and all those boys. Pelicans, Raptors. CJ versus RJ Barrett. That's going to be interesting. I don't know if Zion's playing yet. I think we have the Heat and the Magic playing as well, tonight. I think Jimmy Butler has been indefinitely suspended now, from what I heard. Oh, man. They need to go ahead and make a move right now. They're going to wait probably till next month sometime to get him out of there. But this is just going on too long. They need to figure out what they're going to do with Jimmy Butler and try to make something happen, because it's distracting the team now, guys. The young guys can't do what they need to do because they still got that problem there. And a lot of those guys, even though they're cool with Jimmy, there's a lot of those young guys that don't understand what's going on with Jimmy. So we'll see what happens as that story unfolds. Let me get into football. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a rematch between the Chiefs and the Eagles from 2 years ago in the Super Bowl. 2 years ago, the Philadelphia Eagles had the Kansas City Chiefs beat in the Super Bowl. One error, which I thought cost them the Super Bowl, and it was that fumble, either a sack or a fumble by Jalen Hurts, that cost the Eagles the Super Bowl. I don't think that's going to happen this time. I think that the Eagles are equipped to possibly win the Super Bowl this year, guys. I think Jalen Hurts, along with Saquon Barkley, can get the Eagles a Super Bowl. Let me say this, because I want people to understand why I'm going to say this. 2 years ago, the run game was fine with the Eagles. This time around, they've got one of the best young running backs in the game, and that is Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley has outshined every other running back this year. He's outshined Derrick Henry. He's outshined all the running backs that the Steelers got. He's outshined even Brian Robinson, who played yesterday with the Commanders. He's outrun all of them. He's outplayed them. It's going to be interesting to see, can the Eagles pound the ball on the Kansas City Chiefs? That's the only way they're going to win this Super Bowl. And I'll get more into it in the next couple of weeks, because there's a 2-week layoff before it starts. And usually when they have the Super Bowl, that following week, the All-Star game. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with both the Super Bowl and the All-Star game, which is right neck and neck by each other. Let me also say this. We're almost in the month of February. Wow, February is almost here, folks. That fast. Let me talk about something else that makes a lot of sense here. I want to say this. And this pertains to football. You are going to see what the Philadelphia Eagles can do in a series with those boys playing the mix of the game. I'm just going to tell you like this here. I do believe that the Philadelphia Eagles can win the Super Bowl. That's just the way that I think it could happen. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it could possibly happen, folks. Because I'm going to tell you why I'm saying this. I think the Eagles are a legit threat to the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they're going to look at the situation. They're going to be like, we're not going to play like this like we did last time. We're not going to do the same errors that the 49ers did, because remember, the 49ers have lost twice to the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So the Eagles don't want to be that team that does that again as well. It was a great move because Jalen Daniels was hot. Robinson and them were hot. Eckler. They have a team, guys. The Commanders are serious. The Commanders could possibly be, once again, back in the playoffs next year as one of the most dominant teams in the era of football. As long as Jalen Daniels is healthy, there is no way in the world that the Commanders do not make the playoffs. Now, let me ask you something. Just imagine if the New Orleans Saints needed a quarterback. Do you think for 1 second they would not go and try to get Jalen Daniels? Absolutely. And by the way, speaking of the Saints, they're the only team in the NFL that does not have a coach. They do not have a coach right now. Everybody else has a coach except them. I think the Titans got a coach. I think Jacksonville has a coach. I think Pete Carroll is now the coach of the Raiders, if I'm not mistaken. I think Deion is going to stay in Colorado. Brian Schottenheimer is the coach of the Cowboys. Can he be the one that breaks the Cowboy curse next year? I don't know. Could possibly. Could possibly. But that's here or yonder. But speaking of the Buffalo Bills, let's get into them for a second. If you don't mind me talking about them for a second. The Buffalo Bills, ladies and gentlemen. It's sad that Josh Allen once again came up short. And I'm going to tell you like this here. You know who's laughing at the Buffalo Bill Mafia? Patriot Nation. You want to know why that we're laughing at them? It's because once again, they came up short. You win the division. You've won the division for the last, 6 years? 6 years you've won the division. And guess what? You have not, and I repeat, have not captivated or capitalized on the Patriots being a bad team. For the last 5 years, the Patriots have not won anything. We haven't even been in the playoffs 3 years in a row. This past 3 seasons, we haven't been in the playoffs. We were there the rookie year of Mac Jones, who got put out in the wild card. The year of Cam, we barely made it. We just broke even. And now, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, McDermott, has been the number 1 team in our division for the last 5 years, and still no cigar. There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse. You had one of the best rosters in the game, and you lost again to Kansas City. Now, I will say this, and I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to say it. There were some calls there that I thought were questionable. And I've heard fans and I've heard people say things like, oh man, they're treating the Chiefs like Brady's Patriots. Because every year Brady was in the Super Bowl. And they're saying the same thing about Patrick Mahomes. I don't know, man. I just don't know, man. If I'm Philadelphia, I'm spoiling Kansas City three-peat. I'm doing all I can to spoil that three-peat. If I'm Saquon Barkley, I'm telling my team, I'm telling Jalen Hurts, I'm telling A.J. Brown, I'm telling Devontae Smith, I'm telling Dallas Goedert, I'm telling the defense, Brandon Graham, I'm telling Slay, I'm telling all those boys, man, we are not going to be on the wrong side of history. They're not going to get a three-peat off of us. We are going to win a Super Bowl. Philadelphia has been to the playoffs within the last 5 years, 6 years, something like that. They've been there 3 times. This is the 3rd time in about 6 years they've been to the playoffs, to the Super Bowl, excuse me. They've won one and lost one within the last, 3-4 years, something like that. Because they did win back in 2019, was it 2017, something like that, when they beat us in the Super Bowl with Nick Foles. Carson Wentz was the quarterback, but he got injured, but he won a Super Bowl off of that. I think he won another one last year as a backup behind Patrick Mahomes. So he gets another opportunity at another Super Bowl. So I will say this with all due respect to the Kansas City Chiefs. Man, it's gonna be tough, man. They're gonna have to figure out a way to stop all of the Chiefs' weapons. And they win by 1 score. And they went down there and they beat the Bills by 3. So they have won off the skin of their teeth this year. I don't think that's going to happen in the Super Bowl. I think if Philly, and here's my only problem with Philadelphia, man. Jake Elliott is a guy that leaves points on the board. You cannot do that in the Super Bowl. The kicker, because the Chiefs kicker, Bucker, is money. There's no doubt about that. He is money when it comes down to kicking the ball. Jake Elliott has been filing up in these playoffs when it comes down to points. He would miss a point after a touchdown, and he's also missed a 3-point field goal. You cannot do that against the Kansas City Chiefs because they're going to make you pay. They've got to think about that. Jake Elliott has got to think about that in this Super Bowl, and especially if they want to beat the Kansas City Chiefs and want to spoil them from winning the three-peat. Do I think they can do it? Absolutely. Will they do what we didn't do? I hope not. But it could possibly happen. And let's also dip this in the bud. They want Mahomes to be the next second coming, of Tom Brady. Let's remember this. Tom Brady killed Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl 4 years ago. So let's talk about that for a second. If it wasn't for Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes would probably be a 4-time Super Bowl winning quarterback right now. But he's not. Because let me tell you what's going to happen here. The Chiefs are going to start having down seasons. Patrick Mahomes is going to start feeling, because the league is not going to keep letting them win each year. Because there's going to be teams that are better. There's going to be teams that are going to be ready for them. There's going to be, starting soon, the older class are going to end up riding out in the wind. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to start having down seasons. They're going to have an off season because they're going to start getting tired. They're going to start getting tired of each year trying to push themselves to go to the Super Bowl. It ain't going to happen each year. It doesn't happen in Major League Baseball. It doesn't happen in the NBA. The Warriors were on the verge of winning a three-peat with KD. KD and them had got those boys to the NBA Finals against the Raptors that year. Guess what happened? I'll tell you exactly what happened. KD started getting hurt. Clay ended up breaking his Achilles in the last game of the series against the Raptors. The injuries started mounting up on Golden State. Steph was out there playing as hard as he could, but he couldn't beat those boys by himself. It happens all the time in basketball. It happened. The only reason why it didn't happen with the Bulls was because the Bulls they could tweak their team when they got injured. Scottie Pippen had a bad back injury, but Scottie Pippen was still out there playing his game for the Chicago Bulls. I'm telling you guys what's going to happen. The injuries are going to start mounting up on Kansas City. The league is not going to let them keep winning like this, man. It ain't going to happen. That's not going to happen. Patrick Mahomes is going to start having down seasons. It's going to happen. And I'm going to tell you why it's going to happen. He's going to have okay seasons, but they're not going to be able to get back to the Super. That's not going to happen. Steph Curry won early in his career. What's happening now with Golden State? It happens. It's going to happen, folks. I'm not speaking ill will, but I'm speaking from the nature of the game. There are going to be times that Kansas City is not going to be able to win. Not the Super Bowl. They're going to have a great season, but they're not going to win the whole thing. I think Bill Mafia has a chance next year again. But do I think they're going to win? It got to be Josh Allen's knocking on the door. He's got to knock more on the door in order for them to win. But Patriot Nation still is up on everybody. Tom Brady is still up on everybody. So let's always give the flowers to TB12 because he's there. Mahomes he's got to win at least 4 more Super Bowls in order to break the record of Brady. And I don't know if that's going to happen, but if it does happen, I will congratulate him on being the greatest quarterback of all time if he does it. Just that simple. But Lamar Jackson, it's time for him to win a Super Bowl. Josh Allen, it's time for him to win a Super Bowl. Brock Purdy, it's time for him to win a Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts, it's time for him to win a Super Bowl. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this with all due respect. It's 2 black quarterbacks playing in the league in the Super Bowl. 2 black quarterbacks. Again, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. Alabama, West Virginia. I think that's where Patrick Mahomes went to college at. Texas Tech or something like that. I can't remember. But I'm here to tell you, it's going to be a fun ride to New Orleans. Those boys are going to be starting right there along with Kendrick Lamar. We'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. I'll talk about this when it gets close to the Super Bowl. Give you guys my pick. My pick is, I'm not going to tell you right now, but I will tell you when it gets close to the Super Bowl, which is in what, a week from now or something like that. A little 2 weeks now, because the Pro Bowl's coming up. Excuse me, I had something in my throat. The Pro Bowl's coming up, so we'll see what happens with that as well. Drinking this juice, man. Went down the wrong pipe, man. Thank you, God. And so, you know, it's just interested to see what happens in the Pro Bowl. Who's going to win that? Also, we're getting close to the end of college basketball. I watched the 3-on-3 ladies competition game. Very interesting. Nafisha Collier doing her thing. Wow. I want to talk about something else too before I get off here. Jewel Lloyd is now playing for the Aces. Kelsey Plum is now playing in Seattle. Wow. They made a trade and Kelsey Plum left the Aces? Kelsey Plum now plays for Seattle. Jewel Lloyd plays for the Aces. So Angel now has a new teammate and Jewel Lloyd. That is wow. When I saw that, I was like, what? Kelsey Plum, a 2-time WNBA champion, a gold medal winner, is now playing for the Seattle Storm. Wow. Who is on Seattle that I know of? Wasu Bird, right? I don't know who else is on that team right now. I can't remember the team. But I'm quite sure that with her out there, they got a chance to get to the top. They got a chance to be better. I do think that she's going to be playing with Skylar Diggins Smith. That's one person I do know play for Seattle. Skylar Diggins and Kelsey Plum. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be fun right there to have both of them out there playing together as they get ready to gear up for their season as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to yield right here so you guys can enjoy Netflix Raw. Not only that, but enjoy the NBA as well as NCAA basketball, girls and guys. Tomorrow will probably be a short pod tomorrow. Probably talk about the recap of Netflix Raw as we get ready for the WWE Royal Rumble this Saturday in Indiana, the home of the Indianapolis Colts, the Indiana Hoosiers, and the Indiana Pacers, Reggie Miller City, as well as Halliburton City, as well as Peyton Manning City. And so, you guys get yourselves together, enjoy your night, get your dose of sports. God bless you, God keep you. Pray for you, pray for me. I'm out.